Perhaps most importantly, we are a nation that is no longer admired, respected, or listened to on the world stage, begging Venezuela and others for oil. Yes, oh yes, quickly, says President Donald J. Trump. Because I'm not a Nikki fan and I'm not a Pelosi fan. And when I purposely interposed names, they said he didn't know Pelosi from Nikki, from Tricky Nikki. He didn't know. I interposed, and they make a big deal out of it. I said, no, I think they both stink. They have something in common. They both stink.
The Waffle House and the Citadel taught me two things about life. It taught me about the value of hard work, and it taught me about having courage. There's another man who's going to be in the room tonight who can teach us about the value of hard work, and that man is Donald J. Trump. There is a man who's going to be in the room with us tonight who can teach us about courage to stand up to the D.C. establishment, and that man is who they fear, Donald J. Trump. I'm here tonight, you are here tonight, because there is only one man who can save America, and that man is Donald J. Trump.
When you're talking about Americans' homeland security and you're talking about our Americans' safety and interests around the globe with our allies,
but one quarter, forgive me, Congressman, 1/4 of our budget, about $2 trillion a year of our $6 trillion budget is deficit. I mean, we're not going to be able to help anybody, including ourselves, if we keep running deficit spending the way it's been going.
I could not agree with you more, but this idea that we're going to fight about 1/3 of the budget, which right now I think the agreement is 1.66 trillion, 660 trillion. That's what they're trying to do these bills at. Keep in mind, that's only 1/3 of our budget. That is not what's running this country into the iceberg. It is the 2/3 that involve Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, et cetera.
But nobody's going to touch that.
You have to. If you don't do it, keep in mind.
Not in an election year anyway. You know that as well as anybody. Finally.
Over to see me at Mar-a-Lago. Sir, I will never run against you. She brought her husband. Where's her husband? Oh, he's away. He's away. What happened to her husband? What happened to her husband? Where is he? He's gone. He knew. He knew.
Donald Trump had a rally today. And in that rally, he mocked my husband's military service. And I'll say this. Donald, if you have something to say, don't say it behind my back. Get on a debate stage and say it to my face. If you mock the service of a combat veteran, you don't deserve a driver's license, let alone being President of the United States.
Now we'll talk about
Are House Republicans doing to get to a solution on the border and on Ukraine? Or are you going to actually do nothing? What is your proposal? What are you doing?
No, we're addressing each of those issues. They're important issues on the table. We are not going to be forced into action by the Senate, who, in the latest product they sent us over, does not have one word in the bill about America's border, not one word about security. The reason that the other one was dead on arrival is because it did not meet the moment. It would not have solved the problem. You can't leave giant loopholes and codify some of the things that have gotten us into this situation. So what we're doing right now is the House is working its will. The House Republican Conference, we just met an hour ago with all the members, and there are lots of ideas on the table of how to address these issues. We will address the issues. We'll do our duty on that matter, and all that begins in earnest right now. We have to address this seriously. We have to actually solve the problems and not just take political posturing as has happened in some of these other.
Sounds like you are rethinking your pledge to support him if he's the nominee.
What I'm thinking is y'all need to ask him what he has to say about that, because he owes a lot of military families an explanation with that. He owes a lot of veterans an explanation on that. You don't disrespect someone who's done something that you weren't willing to do. He was not willing to go overseas, but supposedly because he had bone spurs. He's never been near a military uniform. He has no right to talk about anything that a service member does, because that's off limits with him when he wasn't willing to serve himself.
Governor, thank you so much for being.
I hope Nancy gets the help she needs. I really do.
Are you going to give her any help?
No, I am not help financially. I just hope she gets the help to straighten out her life. I mean, she's got a lot of challenges. No one will stay working for her.
Has there ever been any conversations between you and the former president about Matt Gaetz and his decision to throw you out? Is he supportive of that?
I don't know how close you probably think the president is to Gaetz, but you should figure that out.
They're not actually that close? Gaetz makes it out to be like they're...
I'm sure Gaetz probably makes a lot out of it. He probably lies about who he sleeps with, too.
Melanie.
Sitting member wish to check your vote.
On this vote, the yeas are 214 and the nays are 213. The resolution is adopted. Pursuant to Section 2A of House...
How does that fix the problem at the border?
Who said it was going to fix the problem?
President, how does that fix the problem at the border?
Who said it was going to fix the problem?
Swazi, instead of lying like every other Democrat seems to be doing these days, Mayorkas is doing a great job. There's no crisis at the border. The borders are, Kamala's wonderful, Biden's right. What did he do? He said, I better go against my party on the border. And he did it. Paid advertising, mailers, press conferences, public appeals. So he has shown the Democrats how to run on the border. I think the Republicans should do the same thing with abortion. Instead of being ostriches and pretending with their head in the sand, they should be peacocks and say, look, this is what it means to be pro-life in 2024. This is what it means to be pro-choice in 2024. And instead of hiding, own it and message it. I think he did a great job on that, going against his party. Let's see how many Democrats follow suit.
Okay. All right, Justin, does anything say I love you more than a fundraising email based on the litany of criminal charges against you? So Donald Trump just sent out a fundraising pitch that reads, Dear Melania, I love you. Even after every single indictment, arrest, and witch hunt, you never left my side.
And he'll be here in just a little while. And when you see him, let's make sure on Valentine's Day we share our love for Donald J. Trump.
When you're talking about Americans' homeland security and you're talking about our Americans' safety and interests around the globe with our allies,
but one quarter, forgive me, Congressman, 1/4 of our budget, about $2 trillion a year of our $6 trillion budget is deficit. I mean, we're not going to be able to help anybody, including ourselves, if we keep running deficit spending the way it's been going.
I could not agree with you more. But this idea that we're going to fight about 1/3 of the budget, which right now I think the agreement is 1.66 trillion, 660 trillion. That's what they're trying to do, these bills at. Keep in mind, that's only 1/3 of our budget. That is not what's running this country into the iceberg. It is the 2/3 that involve Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, et cetera.
But nobody's going to touch that.
You have to. If you don't do it, keep in mind.
Not in an election year anyway. You know that as well as anybody. Finally,